Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our call for tonight. And if you are here from our Central PA meetup or from the chamber, want to welcome you. And what I've done is I've opened this up to some of our customers that come from the PLR business, and because we're going to be talking about PLR, so they would be a good audience for this also. And if I start to talk in a little jargon, if I start to just start to talk in terms that maybe you don't really fully, you're not really get, I tend to do that because I'm just not used to talking to people who are not involved in our business. So just stop me and let me know, and I will stop and explain. That's why I have the term open public session, because I'm opening this up to our PLR customers. So for those of you who are here, we have put together a bonus for our Auto GPT unrestricted rights. You can still get that at the plrshow.com/vfire, and that's our bonus. And then also we just released a new PLR course, which is an intro to AI course. Now, once again, if you are an Ultimate Insider, you already have access to this course. If you are an Ultimate Insider and you don't have access to Volume 3, please reach out to me and let me know so that I can see to it that you get it. But again, now there is a basic and advanced set of tutorials. So there are two sets of tutorials. You should have both of them if you're an Ultimate Insider. If not, and you have not picked this up yet, you don't want to skip by the advanced course, because the advanced course does teach some things that was just not it would not have been appropriate to put in the basic course, but they are fundamental to your understanding and being able to explain AI to your customers. All right, so any questions in general? So this is really about turning PLR into a product that's going to be sellable, and then finding your audience in order to sell it. So if you're here and maybe you've got a burning question about that, or maybe you've been working on something and it really just hasn't necessarily turned out the way you want, go ahead and type your question here in the box. There are no dumb questions. And what I'll do is I will just start. And if you have questions as we go along, or if you have a question you've been wanting to ask, then I'm going to stop and I will answer that question. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go through some prepared comments. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm going to talk from a presentation that I have done elsewhere. And it's really going to be about how to turn the PLR that you have into a product, and the best kind of product, in my opinion. So any questions before I get started? Any questions about this? I do want to talk about a framework that I teach on a regular basis. Those are people who are here from the PLR show. They already know this, because I probably say this so much that it becomes something that, I just kind of sound like a broken record. But really and truly, that's because there really isn't anything else to say about building a brand online that I can possibly say other than what I'm about to say right now in these steps. And I'm going to fly through these. Now, we do have courses where we teach this entire process. It does take a while to understand, but these are very important things. First thing, you're going to go into any market and position yourself as an educator. And you're going to go in and become a solid source of information. You are then going to do that by doing a weekly workshop, just like I'm doing right now. You are going to build a product snowball, so that every time that you do a workshop, you're going to make an offer. And you're going to find here at the end, I'm going to make an offer, even though the point of this is not going to be to pitch you, but I am going to tell you about something that you can use in order to do some of the things that we're talking about here in this course. Developing a strategic marketing framework. There's something that most people know but don't do. Most people know they need to have a USP with every product, but they don't always do that. I can't say I always do that. Most people know they need to have an upsell and cross sell. Most people know that they need to be building your list. Most people know they should be looking for partnerships and affiliate opportunities. Not everybody does this in everything they do, but the more you do it, the more strategic it becomes, the more that you're going to see profit come through, that with the same amount of effort you're putting in, you're going to be generating the same or more profit. Creating a content factory, which is your unique point of view, Building a massive network, which is the group of people that can help you to promote your business, and you're going to help them to promote theirs. And you're going to do this by leveraging people that you know professionally, people that you know personally, people where you're involved in, civically, maybe you're involved in a volunteer basis. These are part of your network of people that can basically put you in front of other people that can help you again to build out your leads and your sales. Becoming a media mogul, which is mastering one form of traffic. You can be YouTube, it can be Facebook, it can be Facebook ads, it can be LinkedIn. It doesn't matter what you've got to do. Master one. If you're going to do SEO, then you've got to kind of put everybody else aside, everything else aside, to you master SEO and then move on to something else. What tends to happen to most entrepreneurs as well as most digital product creators is we get fractured. We start working on Facebook, and then we start working on paid traffic, and then we sort of work on a lot of different things at the same time. But really and truly, you do have to learn to master one before, way of getting leads and sales into your business without focusing on all the other ones that are available, getting into production mode so these things happen on a regular basis. And we're going to talk about tonight a little bit is building out a learning center, which is your product. You want to know how you're going to turn your PLR into a product. You're going to build out a learning center. You're going to build out a place for people to come and get everything that you have that's going to be relevant. In some other places, I've called this a video academy. So we're in, and I could just call it a membership. All those terms are going to be interchangeable because you're giving people one place in order to get everything that you have that's going to be relevant, and you're going to make sure you're going to make sure that all the things that are in there are going to be organized for people to get so they can get success with what it is you're doing. Creating an online community, which is basically you're creating a place for discussion that's not Facebook, that's not going to be LinkedIn. Now, I know that you can start groups on Facebook, and there are lots of very successful groups on Facebook. I know that if you have a YouTube channel, you probably consider the people that comment on your videos to be your community. I know that you may have something on LinkedIn. They have groups, and maybe you meet with them. Maybe you do things with them. That is a community, but I'm going to suggest that you want to have a place of your own, especially apart from the social media platforms, because a social media platform can decide tomorrow they don't like your business model. And you don't want to build a community around their business. You don't want to build a community that's based on them being nice to you, or them not charging you, or them basically providing a space for you to meet with your customers. You don't want to do that. You don't want to depend on that. So you need to build your own community. Raise and build an affiliate army. This is an advanced stage. This is something that you do where you're going to give the people who are your best customers the opportunity to refer you, the opportunity to earn more of what it is they're doing. And basically, these are some of these things are going to be a little sophisticated to set up. For example, if you're going to have an affiliate army, you may want to have a referral program. There are built-in referral programs. There are referral programs that you have set up, but however you do it, you want to make sure that you're giving people the opportunity who are your customers to promote for you. And then defining and promoting your core ideas, which is basically you're looking at my core ideas. There are 12 of them. Every place that I go and everything that I do, I'm teaching these 12 things. You need to have your own core principles. What do you believe about your market or niche? What do you believe about your expertise? Whatever those things are, you should be defining and promoting them in everything you do. So whenever someone comes to a training that you do, or they read a book that you've written, or they read an article, or they hear you in a podcast, something should come back to your principles, your core principles. You should always be found teaching the things that you say represent your position on whatever it is you're talking about in your market or niche. If your market or niche is the dog walking market, you should have core principles for dog walkers. You should have core principles that every place somebody goes, if they see your name, your principles should be associated with your name. So this is going to be something that's going to be almost probably a lifetime, depending on what market or niche you're going to do. So this is not going to be something that happens overnight, but it's something you should be building toward. And every year you should be producing something significant that represents your core principles, where people can get everything that you've ever taught, everything that you ever think in one volume, in one place. So, you might have to take your time, put it together. It might take 12 months to do it all, but you should be working on it. And by the time you get to the end of whatever your process is, you should have a volume where people understand whatever your core principles are. I do want to spend tonight and talk about building out a learning center because that is going to be your product. You're wondering, okay, well, what do I do with private label rights content? How do I get it to monetize easily? How do I get it to monetize instantly? Well, the easiest way to do that, and probably the thing you should be doing almost instantly, is first of all, you need to have your learning center, your membership, your video academy. It should be set up already. And then everything you get, everything you buy, before you do anything with it, before you even set it up for sale, it should go into your membership. This is the first thing you ought to do. So yes, you eventually want to turn it into an offer, or maybe you want to put it in, combine it with some other products. I don't have a problem with that. But the very first thing you should be doing is you should be figuring out, well, where's this going to go in my membership? Where's this going to go in my video academy? How are people going to find it? You might have to then, once you put it inside your academy, you might have to go back to your welcome video and start directing people to where they can get this new resource. However you do it, your learning center, your place, your membership should be the place for all your all your best PLR. I'm not going to say all your PLR. You don't want just put everything in there and just vomit on people. You want to make sure your very best of everything is there. You want to make sure people can get it when they want it. And so that's the way that you create a product. Your learning center, your membership is a product that you're going to be selling. Some people are going to buy it outright. So in other words, some people, if you choose to, are going to buy what's called, I don't like using the word lifetime, but some people are going to never have to pay again. They're going to pay you one lump sum. They're going to get everything you produced in the past, everything you're producing right now, and everything you get in the future. You got to charge them for that. Some people are going to be willing to buy from you, and they're going to want to buy annually. And so you're going to want to make one payment in order to get everything you have on an annual basis. Now, this is a little tricky because personally, I don't like owing people. So I would not want anyone to feel like they bought something, they paid for 12 months, but really, maybe I get tired of it and I decide, okay, you know what, in 7 months, I don't want to do this anymore. That person paid for 12 months. I wouldn't want that person to feel like. So now you've got to work around that. My personal way of working around that is to make sure that somebody buys, let's say 12 months, and I really don't have an offer where I sell an annual offer, but if I did, it would basically be I'd still give that person 12 months of content. And that's just because of my own comfort level. I want to be comfortable that if I had to walk away tomorrow, that person would get their value, right? They would have paid, they would have gotten what they paid for if I decide after 1 month, right? So they make an annual payment, but I decide, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to the Swiss Alps, right? And I'm going to go do something else. That person would still have 12 months. And so basically that's where you want to kind of think about these things, when you are building it out. Okay, so um, that's kind of a long porch to this. Uh, so let's talk about why you'd even do a learning center when it comes to PLR. Why would you do that? Why would you think about it that way? Why would you turn a PLR product into a membership? Right? Why does that make sense? It's going to be your signature offer. So again, think about what we're saying. We're saying that you probably have multiple PLR products. Let's say that you get one this week and you got one last week. And let's say that you got two last month. That's enough to create a membership. You want to make sure that there is a place where people can go behind the paywall to get it all, and then you charge them accordingly. So basically, you want to make it so that it becomes your signature offer. Most people who've ever bought PLR probably have enough that if they put it all in one place and organized it, they've got enough for a signature offer. It takes work to do this, I have no doubt, but this really should be the first thing you should do, not the last. Typically, people struggle with, well, what should I do with this? Tell me how to, tell me how to put it up on my page. You should do that. But the very first thing you need to do to get the full value of it is you add it to your membership and you think about where it goes in there. And then you create a new video or a new set of directions so that if a customer comes and they get all your other stuff and this new thing, they know exactly where to find the new thing. So you are going to continually create this offer. And because you continually create it, it continually increases in value. It becomes a signature offer, and that's what a signature offer does. It's where you're going to have some social proof in there. So you're going to be able to get people who are already in there who are going to say, "Hey, I'm getting a great deal. I like what I'm getting inside of here." It's maybe a place where you have developed a coaching method. So let's say that you have a method where it's proprietary. You teach people this really cool thing, and nobody else is allowed to teach it. And you don't sell rights to it or anything else like that. That goes inside of your membership. Now you might have to change the structure of how you price it, but you've got to make that membership something where people are getting they can't get elsewhere. Because if you don't want to have it to be a commodity. So in other words, well, I can get a Facebook course, I can get a YouTube course, I can get all these other things, but is there one thing in here that I got to say subscribe to it for? That's what you got to put in there. So sometimes it's going to be your coaching method. You should make this a continuity offer. And I don't have time to train on this one principle tonight. People who have been with me for a little while, you've heard me talk about the logic behind why you need to have a continuity offer. I know that there are some extreme. Now, if you are a solo business owner and you are building an online business, it takes extraordinary discipline and it takes extraordinary cash management skills to understand that when you get that annual payment and you're trying to get a second annual payment the next year, that annual payment that you just got, whatever it is, let's say it's $2,000, right? Let's say it's 1997. Let's say it's 597. Doesn't matter what it is. Let's say but you got it all in a lump sum, and it's for the calendar year going forward. You can't spend it all. That's not yours to put in the bank and then get and take out and start spending on your business all at once, unless you're investing in something. That money is to really it's really though it's forward, right? So it's really for all the next 12 months. It's cash flow for the next 12 months in one lump sum. And if you don't have that kind of discipline, you can't look at your business that way. Structure a continuity offer. Because basically all you're really saying to a person is, I'm going to continue to give this value to you in this membership, just keep paying it monthly. Right now, people don't necessarily like to pay a continuity offer. So you're going to have to try to build up the value. You're going to have to try to make sure the value is worth it, but you do want to have a continuity offer. You got to figure what your signature offer is going to be, right? It shouldn't be any less than $300 when I say signature. So if you're talking about something that's like 197, that's not a signature offer. You're talking about something that's 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, that's a signature offer. It could be a lot more than that, but I'm talking about something above $300. Then you need to turn that $300 into at least some kind of monthly payment of $25, $27. Divide that by 12, right? To say you got a $300 uh, offer. Then you divide it by 12, right? Your continuity is going to then be $25 to $27. You could go lower than that, but you're going to have a lot of members. And I don't think that that's a way you want to do. You don't want to have, a ton of members because you made your membership $4.95. Now, the benefit to doing that is it becomes a nuisance to people. And so people just don't mind paying it because it's $5. So they look at it and they see it and they say, oh, I'll continue to pay this. But that's not necessarily going to be sustainable, and you never want to compete on the basis of price. So if all you competing, well, I've got a low cost membership, you got to compete on that basis. You're going to have a lot of turnover. You're not going to have people that you want to serve. It's basically just trying to get people to buy a membership. What you want to do is you want to have people that you want to serve, that you can get to know them, you can get to like them, and you can get to try to figure out how you can serve them and help them. So I'm going to say that if you have something that's less than $300, you divide that by 12, 25, $27, you're probably too low, right? You can go way above this, right? You can go you can go as far above this level as you want. This is just a baseline. Don't go below this if you want to have people to serve. Now, if you go below this, understand something in terms of price. You want to have a $7.95 membership. You're not there to serve those people. Right? You're there to give them something, give them a login and password, let them go. That's what you're there for. See, anything below $25, $27, you're not there to serve them. And that might sound a little harsh. I'm just telling you, I'm telling you this kind of based almost intuitively. I'm telling you based on the economics of this. I'm telling you based on the amount of time you're going to be spending. I'm telling you based on the kind of person that's probably going to be willing to pay you $4.95 versus somebody who's willing to pay you $25, $27. It's a different person, right? You're not even going to. So you're just going to have to trust me on this. I don't have time to fully explain it to you here tonight. You'll have to come back to another training I do. When you do a learning center, it needs to be at the end of your funnel, and you've got to do this really continue to put it there until you develop your highest ticket offer. So let's say that your membership is going to be, I don't know, $47 a month, right? $597, right? If they buy it annually, you're probably going to have a coaching offer in there where you're going to be willing to work with somebody one-on-one. It's going to be more than that, right? Whatever that coaching offer is going to be, it should be almost, here's a rule of thumb I like. It should be 1.5 to 3 times minimum whatever that continuity offer is times 12. Now let me kind of back that up for a second. So let's say that your continuity offer is $25 a month, and that's because it's $300 divided by 12. Your coaching should really be someplace about, I'm going to say 1.5 times to 3 times that $300. So it should be someplace between $500 and $900. That's the rule of thumb, right? Now you can go way higher than that, but I'm saying, and I don't care how much time you're giving for that $500 and $900. Doesn't matter how much time you're getting. It could be 1 hour, it could be 3 hours. Doesn't matter. Whatever that, it's not going to be worth your time to do less than that. And once again, you go below that number, you're not going to want to serve someone. You're just going to be kind of basically going through the motions. And so you want to make sure you charge enough so that when somebody makes the payment and you get in Zoom with them, you're looking at them as somebody you truly want to serve because they're paying you, they're coming to you for your advice. If you price it too low, they're not coming to you for your advice. They're coming to you for the stuff. And you don't want to have in a relationship you build on that basis. You never want to compete on the basis of price. And how do I know that? Because I've done it before, right? Because I'm telling you, I've charged $97 for coaching and I regretted it. I've charged $250 and I regretted it. I've charged $275 and I regretted it. When I started charging $525, I didn't regret it. I'm just telling you. So don't charge less than what I'm telling you to charge, because you will feel less like you want to serve people. And I'm not saying I didn't serve people. I'm saying though, I looked at myself a little differently. Now, here's the thing. The only reason you wouldn't charge the $500 is because you don't feel like you're worth it. You're going to have to do something to feel like you're worth it. You're going to have to go take some training. You're going to have to you're going to have to get some knowledge. You're going to have to go through some, build some things so that you do know that when you ask for $500, they need to pay you for it. So part of that really does come from internally. And the way you build up that internal sense, you got to go do something, whether it's take a course or actually build something so that you know your process well enough so that people have to pay you $500 because that's what you know you're worth. Right. So I know that, people say, well, I've got imposter syndrome, is I don't really feel like, and yeah, that's a real thing, but you overcome imposter syndrome by educating yourself. Right? Go take a course. Go pay a little money. Pay money. Do exactly what the person says. Go through their process. Have some success. When you come out of that with success, that's when you feel like, okay, you know what? I'll charge $500. If you're a coach right now, and you don't feel like you're charging enough, um, the number one thing you've got to do, and again, I don't coach coaches, so I'm not telling you how to coach, but I will say this: the way you charge more for coaching program is to know you're worth it. And you know you're worth it by understanding your process and by being able to do your process, explain it to other people. Right now, um, your learning center needs to stay in your funnel to smooth out your income. So in other words, you're not just dependent on how many products you sell. You're really dependent on the people that are renewing their membership with you. And it needs to stay in your funnel to help the value for your launch. So people will continue to promote for you if they know they have the opportunity to earn some kind of recurring commission, right? Okay, so I'm about at 7:30. Do I have time to do this? I probably don't have time to do this one. Um, so what I'll say is that the next time I'll pick it up from here, and I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to ask if you have any questions. Any questions? Okay, any questions on turning your PLR into a membership? And I kind of talked off the cuff a little bit here tonight. Probably more than I typically do. But again, it's kind of a little different because um, tonight that we're working with our Central PA group, and so I want to make sure people kind of really get it from that perspective. So I probably talked more than I typically talk to a PLR audience strictly. I was a little more verbose about some of these things, but any case, any questions? Any questions? Okay, well, I'm looking at my clock up here, and my clock says 7:31. I don't really like to go beyond 30 minutes. And so if there are no questions, right, about turning, this is your chance to ask, right? If you have any questions about, turning your PLR into products or turning it into a membership even, right? Feel free to ask. If not, appreciate y'all hanging out with me here. And for those of you who are from the PLR show, I definitely appreciate y'all coming over and just kind of keeping me company here. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.